What's up, everybody? I told you a while back I was going to do a Rogue video for the Rhino. In the gym today, did a little spring cleaning. Kind of been vacuuming and getting a little organized, taking a look at everything. So I thought I'd go ahead and give you a little review of the Rogue Rhino. Again, I haven't really watched anyone else's reviews, so I don't know what their pros and cons are, what their gripes are. I can just tell you mine. So just like everything Rogue, this thing is over-engineered. It's huge, super sturdy. You're never going to feel like it's going to break apart on you, like it's fragile. None of that. You'll never get, you're just not going to feel unsafe getting on it. Concept of it's pretty simple. Strap in, belt goes around your waist. You hook into there, there's cable that goes up all the way and then back down. As you stand, the weight moves up. You're pulling that weight up, and gravity's pushing down. As you squat down, as you lower, the weight's going to lower. These bars, here we can take the weight off. I should have done that. So these bars, a couple of really good design. They fail. When they fail closed. So what happens is when you lift, I'm just going to pull up on this bar, and I raise this. If you notice this thing, the handles fall forward, so such that if I let go, if something bad happens, and you blow out a knee, you do something, and you let go and you go down, this piece right here, the handles are going to fall forward, they're going to catch, and you're going to be in a safe position so that you can get out. They don't ever fail back where the weight's potentially going to go all the way down. So that's a nice design. It's an obvious design that would need to happen, but they did it well. But that does, in turn, cause a problem in that so that means when you're doing a squat, you have to have your hands here. You have to have your hands on the bar holding them back. Now, it doesn't require hardly any resistance, but if you don't want to be using your hands, you're in trouble. And when would you not want to be using your hands? Well, if you have a tendency to cheat, if you're doing a squat and you come in here and you got hands on both sides and you're dipped down, and then you have a tendency to want to pull yourself up. It takes a lot of discipline to not use your hands. So what you have to do is you have to keep your hands there. There's another thing. What if you want to use this machine for something else? And I say that because it's a great machine and it has all sorts of uses. You can take a lat pull down bar, this guy right here. You connect it to there. You got curls. You got upright rows. We've done connect a single handle to it, do single arm curls. You can do shrugs. There's a lot of actual good uses that can come out of this machine other than just squats. But if you're doing curls, how is this supposed to stay back? How are these supposed to stay forward if you're using your hands and you can't hold on to them? And so my solution to that is always just to get essentially a resistance band, fold them forward, lift up, set the weight down, fold these forward, and wrap a resistance band around these two poles to keep it forward. And that's what you have to do to keep it in that position. So it's a pro and a con. If they would have provided a latch, some sort of latch where you could connect them, that would have been beneficial. I don't think they really thought ahead about that. And a resistance band isn't a big deal, but it is something that we've done, and that you may fall into if you want to use this as a multi-purpose machine, which you should, because it's uniform resistance. The great thing about cable machines is the resistance is the same the whole time, because gravity, there's no fulcrum, so there's no pivot. Gravity's the same the whole time, so you're getting a consistent resistance. It works really well for a lot of things. So a couple other things. Your resting position moves up and down. So you can take all the weight off, lift it up and move where your starting position is up and down. So hold on before we get into so all the pros, let me get all the pros. Again, it's built well. It does exactly what you want it to do. The belt that they provide you is a good belt. It's the Rogue belt. Each side has all of these loops so that you can pick how your waist size, and you strap in, and you want it to sit kind of right on top of your hips, under your belly button, because it's going to sag down in the forward because everything's pulling you forward. And so you can hit your legs in different ways based upon where you stand. If you come forward, you can bring your legs all the way forward. Well, the resistance is going to be coming back in an angle, and it's going to work you different versus if you bring your legs back, your feet back. It's pulling you straight down at that point, or you can even come back forward where it's pulling you forward. And you get a different feel based upon where you put your legs. That's all good. It works great. If you've got lower back problems, you got upper back problems, you got a back injury or shoulder injury, man, this string, the works. And what it does is, because this moves up and down right here, it gives you while you're doing your squat, it gives you a good visualization of your depth. And you can mark where you need to be. So you can see where I've marked. And it definitely tells you if you're cheating. It's really hard to tell if you're cheating on a barbell squat, how deep you're going. But if you strap into this thing and you see the Rogue base just moving a couple inches, you're not doing a real squat. You're not going deep. And so that provides a good visualization, and it does help to kind of center where you are in your squat. So again, it's got multi-use. Put curl bars on there, handles on there. You can do so many things with it. Just use your imagination. And if you do have a back or shoulder injury for leg day, this thing is great. It does take getting used to on how it feels on your hips. It does get uncomfortable on your hips. It's not something that you're used to. It is a lot of pressure on your skin around your hips. So just beware, and it's better if you have a little bit of tighter fitting clothes on days that you're going to use this, because a loose fitting clothes, especially down in between your legs, if you're wearing like a basketball kind of short that has a lot of sag kind of in between your legs, well, this rope is going to go in between your legs, and it's going to hit the front of your shorts. It's not really going to hit you in the nuts, but it's going to hit you on your shorts, and it's going to get caught in there, and it's just going to be uncomfortable. It might kind of pull your pants down a little bit. So I would suggest wearing a little bit more form-fitting clothes on days where you plan to use this machine. So let's talk about the cons, because that's kind of what everyone wants to know. What are they going to regret if they buy it? So my cons are going to be, I've already explained the handle issue. A latch or something would have been great. These handles are great. They're really over-engineered, so sturdy. I don't know if they're entirely necessary. Band pegs would have worked. I don't know who is going to ever move these handles further down. It would make, I'm 6'2", I'm going to use these. My wife's 5'2", she uses these. No one's ever going to go lower. So I don't quite understand why they put so much into that. Maybe there could have been a little cost saving with just a simpler handle. But that's a very specific nitpick, not a big deal. My other issues are going to be, first of all, so again, I said I'm 6'2", and this is my squat range from here, and really about resting right there is how deep I go. Look how much room is left at the top. So just to give you perspective, let me scoot back. Look how much room is left at the top. Shaquille O'Neal, if he were doing a squat, would come max up to here. So why this thing is probably 6.5 feet tall, I don't understand. That this to me doesn't make any sense. They should have cut this off lower. No one is, I just don't see, I guess maybe if you're, again, like I said, if you're doing curls or something, I haven't tried, but I imagine if I was doing curls, it would come up to here. at the top of the curl. I don't know why they gave us all this extra metal and stuff. That doesn't make sense to me. I would have preferred this to be shorter because it just makes more sense. The other thing that I would prefer is for this piece to actually be taller and have holes drilled shorter. So the higher you move this, the higher your resting position is. And so if you're tall, the higher you're going to move that. And I actually, and it's helpful for when you're getting loaded. So when you strap in, the lower this is, the closer you're going to have to be to the ground while strapping in. So essentially you have to get on your knees and start out in a deep squat position, climbing up onto this platform. So you're pretty much getting on your knees to strap in, and then you can't straighten your legs out. You got to get in basically your bottomed out ass to grass position, and then squat up, and it's going to pull the handles back. So that's my other complaint. I wish this was probably 6 inches taller, because what it would do is let us taller people get in a ready position for easier in a standing position. When I set it on the top, it still doesn't allow me to really stand up on this machine and get myself ready and loaded up so that I can disengage the handle stop and start squatting. I would have liked for that to go taller. It would have been, it would have been nice. As you can see, where it's set at right now is where I would bottom out. So, I mean, I'm only going to be able to come up that high from where I bottom out, and that's my starting position. No, you want to start with your legs straight. And so if you got a lot of weight on there and you're doing your heavy set, it's going to be hard for you to get started. And that's kind of my other big complaint about this, is just where it forces you to get started. Other than that, I don't have a lot more to say. It holds tons of weight. You're never going to feel like you're going to tip or anything like that. The band peg attachments for resistance bands, you can wrap them over if you want. Those work just fine. The Rogue belt, it works great. The thing I can recommend is really what would be nice if they would ship this thing. Rogue has really nice carabiners that they'll send you with your other equipment. I would love it if they sent you this belt with a carabiner in every loop, because what they send you is just this big ass one, which is fine. And you're supposed to loop in your loops while you're in a squatted position and get ready. What we've discovered is if you just put carabiners in each side of the loops, it's much easier just to clip in. It would be nice if it came with a carabiner in each loop and a hefty one. Now here's a nice hefty one. This one's a little flimsier. That's not as nice, that we've just bought aftermarket. And so it would be nice if we got a nice hefty carabiner in each loop to make it much easier to strap in and get in. It would make it jangly. It might sound like some Christmas bells, but it would be handy. So find some hefty carabiners if you get one. At least you're going to want at least two, one for each side, if not one for each loop. I need to find a place that sells ones that I like. And other than that, I've got this thing pretty close to the wall. I would recommend giving yourself a little more room. We need to scoot it out a little bit. That way you can get on your knees behind it and get yourself strapped in and ready to stand and get up into position. And I mean, really, that's about it. Again, it's worth the money. It's absolutely worth the money. It's a good piece of equipment. You can get a lot out of it. If you've got an injury, you're not going to have to skip your squats if you've got a back injury or a shoulder injury, which I've had. And it helps you to get out of those. That and the safety squat bar. If you've got a shoulder injury, the safety squat bar is a lifesaver too. But it does help hit the tops of your legs. It certainly doesn't give you a squat. I don't feel like it gives you the same feel as a Barbell squat, I feel like it's more of a front squat kind of feel where it's really hitting the tops of your legs a lot more. I would love, the other thing I thought about is what if you could get some sort of thing to lean against here and basically turn this into a hack squat machine. That would be so cool, because Rogue doesn't have a hack squat, and this is a perfect platform for a hack squat. It does everything you'd want it to do. If there was a platform for you to lean against going back, you strap in and then you move up and down. Now you've got an attachment that allows you to have hack squats. That would be awesome. I've thought about that before, because I would love a hack squat machine, and this would be a great one. You could easily figure out a way to have a little platform you just set on top of this one, and it allows you to have your feet in an angle or something. It would just be great to have a hack squat. But this is a good platform. It's over-engineered, so big and beefy. It took us probably an hour and a half, 2 hours to get together. You do gotta, all these pieces come apart. Pay attention when you do it. I think I ended up putting this ball inside there, and it needs to be on the outside, and we had to unscrew all of the platform and get it out and then put it all back together. So that costs a little time, but you do have to put it all together. But other than that, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that anyone's going to be interested in, and I don't think so. It's a good piece of equipment. We don't use it all the time, but it's so nice to have when you do want it. If you have any questions, please ask. I haven't attached it to anything. I know that they have a way of doing it inside of a rack, and I could see that being just fine. We just have this space over here. It's kind of a dead space in our gym. You can kind of see how big this is in respect to the rest of our gym. So it's a pretty big piece over there. But we just had this dead space because we have the wingspan. We have this big wingspan rack, and it's kind of able to sit over in the corner. It's big space, so you need a good 6x6 square of space to have it sitting somewhere. But if you have any questions, let me know. I was just trying to give you guys an update and tell you what I think is kind of lacking in it. But if you ask me, should you spend the money on it? I would say if you have the money and you like doing leg day, you should spend the money. It's a good piece of equipment. You can do arms, you can do shoulders on it. You can't really do a chest exercise on it, just the way it's designed, but I do suggest it. It's good. So anyways, take care. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll try to answer them. But again, I haven't really attached it to anything or done anything with it other than some other random exercises. But take care and be careful. Work hard.